No. HTTPS. So HTTPS is port 443. That is correct. So what you should be typing is, hold on. You would type, so if I want to see if the firewall is turned on, tune day, either one. Which one? How do I find out if the firewall is turned on? I give you time to look it up. Without your book, without your use Google. How can I tell if the firewall is running or not? Lolita, you want to help them? Let's see. She said SE status. SE status does not tell me that. SE
Oh,
status
oh,
about the tells me about SE Linux. How do I find out about the firewall? I'm running off of y'all commands tonight. Whatever you tell me to write, I'm just what I'm typing in. So I want to find out if my firewall is running.
oh.
Let's see. Tune says firewall CMD status. No. Oh, hold on. She said dash dash status. Hold on. Let me type dash dash status. No. How you find out if the firewall is running? You type system control status firewall D, and you see mine is not on. So how do I turn it on? How do I start my firewall? Okay, system control start firewall D. All right, let's see. I'm gonna go check the status. It's running. All right. All right. Then you say in order to, hold on. I want to find out what ports are open on my firewall right now. How do I find that out? I could use mmap. Would I use mmap on localhost? Let's see, mmap localhost. It's not installed. How do I install mmap? If I want to do it automatically without without hitting the yes, I just hit dash Y. So we're gonna install mmap. We're gonna test Tunde's theory that I can just do mmap. So we're gonna do mmap on localhost. We're gonna test her theory. While that's going on, how do I? We're gonna be we all. I'm using chapters 1 through 7. This is gonna test your knowledge tonight. You had a week off. We've been going kind of slow. We're gonna test your knowledge tonight. So I could pull from anywhere. Okay. So then, Lolita, let me write down these questions. So you guys, I'm making them up as I go. Come on, today. All right, I'm gonna put this on my other screen. All right. So the first question was, how do we tell if the firewall is running? Second question, how do we tell what ports are open on the firewall? Third question is, how do we install the package Nmap? Along with that question is, how can I tell what config files were installed with that package? Tunde, how can I tell what config files were installed with the package? It's three answers. And I expect all three of you guys to know it. Oh, it don't matter. You say yum list install mmap. Let's see. I'm running off of whatever you tell me. I'm not gonna answer whether it's right or wrong. I'm just running. So the question becomes is, for you guys, you have to double check her work. So how would you double check whether or not she's right or wrong? Right? So you need to find out, if I did yum list, well, what does yum list give me? So this is what you do. You have to check. It's not the fact that you're second guessing her. You just want to know. Yum list. So let's go down here. I see list right there. Well, what is list? What else list? Where else is list at in here? Let's find out. Okay, list is used to list various information about available packages, more complete details in the list options section. Okay, so nope, they didn't give us our answer. So the answer is actually RPM dash dash files by package. Hold on, let me go back. So I said QILC dash dash files by package Nmap. I'm not writing the answers down on this sheet either. I'm just gonna type them in and you're gonna fill them out. So then there's also, what is Nmap? Nothing that tells you there. Appropriate. I'm hope I'm doing this right. Nmap. Nothing there. So my answer I would go with on the test to find out more information is QILC dash dash file by package. There's other commands that you can use on that, but I use that all the time because it gives me a little bit more information, as you can see. It gives me the where the man pages is stored. But also, there's no config file for Nmap, but if there was a config file for something, it would give me the config file. So, all right. So back to Tune, she said I can do Nmap localhost. That's what you say. So here's my Nmap of localhost. Says this is what's open on it. Right. I can also do a netstat dash pant or PA or dash A, actually gives you everything, but PA ANTU. I tell you to look that up for yourselves so that you know what it is, so forth and so on. Here's the result of that. Sorry, my screen is now going crazy. Here we go. All right, so next question about that was, see what config files were installed, how do I tell the open ports on it. The other way, really, the answer You're looking for a system. It's actually firewall dash cmd dash list dash ports. That tells you what ports are open through the firewall. And then list services tells you what services are open. Please notice that there's a difference between list ports and list services. If I listed a port, if I add a port, if I did firewall dash cmd dash add dash port equal to 22 is already up there, 23 dot TCP, right? It's gonna add that. But when I go back and list services, you see it doesn't translate what port 23 is to my service. Didn't do that. So now I want to, how do, Lolita, how do I delete this port? I just added port 23. I want to delete it. So the difference between using Nmap, most people use Nmap to scan another box, not scan a local port, not scan their local box. Um, and to the list ports command is specifically for the firewall. So you say firewall dash dash delete equal, I mean dash port. What port am I deleting, Alita? I want what port am I deleting? You gotta be specific. So I got some Facebook stuff. I just added 23 TCP. So it's 23 TCP. You got to be very specific there. Don't recognize that. Let's see. You can't just do 23. Nope. You got to do 23 TCP. Lolita. You got to go look it up. The class is counting on you. So while Lolita goes and looks that up. Tunde guy, how do I add a user to the system and put them in the group called test users? If you don't know, look it up. Tunde. Let's see. Hold on. Let me write it down. Lolita, we waiting on your firewall answer. I forgot I'm writing it down. Tunde guy. Let's see. I said how to add a user to the system with the group named test users. Okay. You go look that up and figure it out. Okay. Tunde female. I'm gonna give you a hard one because I want you to go look it up because I'm just that kind of person. Let's do this. I want you to use the um, cut command to find the first column of etc password. Lolita, did you get my firewall port yet? Are y'all having fun? I am. Lolita, you need to get logged in. I need for you to get plugged in, Lolita. Let's go. Let's go. But you know what? This thing gonna do nothing but make you much sharper than what you actually think you are. So it gives you a chance to look up stuff. Hold on, let me put something in the trash. Hold on, Lolita, I'll be back in actually 30 seconds. I'm gonna need that port. All right. Port. I need my port. I need my port. Need more scarabs.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
Lolita, I need my port. I'll be back.
oh my gosh.
You got my port. You got what I'm supposed to do.
Oh my goodness.
So how would I find the answer, Lolita? No pressure. So man firewall CMD. Let's look up delete. So Lolita said it was dash dash delete port. That's a service. That's permanent. Let's look up port. The zones. Lolita, how do I find the default zone? How do I know what my default zone is? I'll write that down. Tune, I'm gonna tell you no. But before I tell you no, I'm gonna run your command. I'm still waiting on my port, Lolita. So cut dash D etc. I said the first column. Password. No. So when you're using the cut command, you have to cat etc password. Okay. So that gives me everything about that, right? I just read that file. Then I do cat etc password. Type that over to cut. I want the first field. I know that from looking at it, it's delimited by colons. So I want dash F1 dash D colon. And that gives me my first column. That's how you do that. Alright, let's see. Lolita said delete permanently. I'm gonna go back. I'm copying exactly what she says because she is the instructor. I'm gonna do this first. It didn't recognize that. Let's go dash dash permanent. Doesn't recognize that. Let's see what's going on. Lolita, it's removed. So remember, remove. Alright, so the user I wanted you to add we'll add to name, but the group I wanted you to add was test users. So here's the question. I'm gonna post it over here. But I'm going to cut and paste your command just as I see it. And I'm gonna see if your command works. So let me get rid of white spaces here. Control A. What's the first thing you guys notice about his command? So the first thing I noticed is, first off, how do you add a user to the system? User add. That's right. So for a rule of thumb, just to be on the safe side, I would put stuff in quotes so it gets translated as strings. Let's see if this command works. So the group doesn't exist. So that's not correct. So I'm gonna leave that up to you to figure it out. And we'll come back to it. Tunde, we got you covered. Okay. How do I tell what the IP address is of my machine again? Using IP, not ifconfig. It's, remember, IP space ADDR. How do I tell what's the replacement for netstat? So you can do a netstat dash parent, but what's the replacement? That's just for us to see what the thing is. But there's a replacement for netstat. Yes, SS tuna. SS is the thing. Tuna is your things that you can run. T being TCP, U being UDP, N being lowercase n, numeric, and A being all. So that's it. Maybe I need a dash. Yes, that's it. The next one I want to do is I want to grab um let me get here. I just want anything. I want to grab this RPM from this website. So how do I do a wget and grab this RPM from this website? It's Lolita's turn. So, so Lolita, you gotta figure out how do I grab the first RPM off this page from this website using wget. Please keep in mind there's a trick to this. You're using HTTPS. So how do I grab that? So you gotta go look that up.
What is she grabbing, Tamika?
The first RPM off this site using wget. For you, Tune, How can I tell the size of my root partition? That's Tunde, female. Tunde guy. Um, tell me how much memory I have on the system. There's several ways to figure that out. Give me two.
W. Oh.
What you old guiding over there for?
Oh, you can hear me now.
I've been hearing you. I've been hearing you live.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Like I say, we're going through page 1 through 7. I mean, pages 1 through 7, chapters 1 through 7.
I just went through a lab and I can't even remember. I'm looking it up.
Hmm.
I said, I just went through a lab grabbing RPMs and I can't even. I mean, doing packages and I can't even remember. So I'm looking it
So WGET is one of them tricky ones. Hey, we got somebody from Africa want to join. She is from Ghana. So, anybody got their answer figured out? We're on the time clock. I'm gonna start. What my time? What my watch at? I need to start timing, y'all. I'm typing an email, so by the time I get done typing, you better have y'all questions answered. It's war out here. Tunde, did you figure out your user ad? How do you add a user and place that user in the test users group? What commands are you would you do? You have to think in terms of you have to think in terms of if one is the group there or not. The other one is if the group is not there, do I create the group first? So you have to think like in those terms. Is the group there first? If the group is not there, create the group. Once I create the group, then how do I add that user to my new user to that group? Let's see, Tune, you are working on what is the size of my root partition? What command gives me sizes? Lolita, how you doing with wget?
I'm working.
Does that mean you know what you're doing, or does that mean you need help? So let's look at that. Wget over HTTPS. All right, this guy right here, which it always comes up first. So you see this right here? No check. So I want to grab where's my little guy at? Where'd he go? Oh, he's over here. I'm gonna bring him over so you can see. So I want to right click, copy link address. I'm in my temp folder. I'm wget -- node - check certificate and that RPM.
I don't remember seeing that.
That's how you do.
Okay, so you're saying we're bringing it over and we're not worried about checking to see if it's got a key. I mean,
Nah, yeah, I'm
certificate.
not worried about the key right now. I just want to get it downloaded. I'm not installing it. I can check the
Okay,
key after I got it over here.
okay,
I just want to get that RPM onto the system. Suppose you're at work and you know the RPM keys are fine and so forth and so on, but you want to get that RPM onto a system. I can just right click, copy and paste. If it's web browsable, I do a -- no check certificate and go from there. Here's another one. Suppose I want to download this entire directory and not have to worry about and bypass this. So let's go back to this guy. I'm gonna copy this link. So there are levels with this command. So there is a -L, and then you can tell it not to give you index HTML as well. So this guy is he avoid downloading the directory structure. It's this guy, but we want the directory structure. But also, what we want is -- no check certificate, and I'm gonna be really short. I don't want to. Well, that's fine. We'll get the whole thing. No certificate. Where is my link at? What did I do with him? Where him go? So I know I am 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 levels deep. Let's see. They also say I need to use recursive this on this one. Let's see what it does. Okay, so it didn't like that. I spelled something wrong. Certificate. All right.
Okay, I
Go
got
ahead.
a question. Let me make sure I got this right. So when we do a yarn,
Mm.
it's usually it has to go to the Red Hat repository, right?
But you can set that up to do multiple things. I'm gonna show you that tonight. Glad you asked. In fact, I want you to go look that up. You hold on. You were doing wget. I got you.
I was
Today you got my users yet? Uh, and the other two things I see your f dish minus b. That's two things. There's a couple of ways you could have did that. That's the long way. So you say f disk minus b. So I did that, and that gave me nothing. So what you should have said was df minus h. Human readable format. Lolita, you see it's downloading in the background there. Yeah. So I'm gonna control C because I don't want everything, but I just wanted to show it to you. I want
in,
everything. You can see here. Here's the directory. Here's the link. Let me do it side by side here. Um,
so when do you do a wget when you're not doing
when you
something
want to
from
grab
Red
stuff.
from the internet?
Uh-huh. Or internally.
When you say internally, what do you mean?
Internal to your network.
Oh, okay, okay. So Apple, it's a repository, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Red Hat is the separate repository,
Mm-hmm.
and then wget you use to get any program you want off the internet or from internal.
Or internal to your network. So I want to show you this. So you see where I'm at, right? It went here, it looked at this right here, said boom, I got this. Because I didn't tell it not to give me the directory structure. And then it went over here and got here. So now look at this. The same thing here, it's the same thing over here. And then if I did a LS, I'm gonna see a 7. And then if I did a LS, I should see x64. And then I should have everything, it has everything lined up. It went and cached it all, and then it started transferring stuff. I can do a du minus chs star and gives me a total of 1.5 gigs I downloaded. And I'm just gonna remove everything rm-rf dl. There we go. Tunde, you giving me a link to check that's checking disk space. I want to check I want to check the size of my root partition. Df minus df gives you that. Yeah, see? Df minus h. You gave me uh F disk, yeah. All right. The next thing I want to do is we need to get Tunde to give me his answer. We're waiting on you. So while we're waiting on him, how do I create a file called in my temp directory? Let me go over here. How do I create a file called test.txt and um, add uh, this is my first text file to that file. So basically, I want to create a file in slash temp called text.txt. And I write that out, and I want to add information to that file while I'm creating it. What command would I use to do that? Lolita, your turn. I
What do you
wanna,
want to add?
I wanna add a sentence to that file.
Okay. Echo is um,
Yep.
double quote.
Yeah, Tune got it, but you
Um,
missing Tune. You're missing sentence. You're missing echo. You can't just do. See, if you just did that, you gotta. It won't do it. So yes, you do. Continually echo some text to uh
she's in the red system.
slash temp text dot txt, and I can cat that file. What if I want to add more information to that file? I want to keep what I got in there, and I want to append information. I, that's what I type. I just do this. I just type this. That didn't work.
No, woman.
You gotta be specific.
Echo
You
more
gotta be specific.
information. Okay. Echo whatever the information is. Two double arrows. Um, slash temp slash text dot txt.
Lolita, how do I read that file? Better yet, Lolita, how do I read that file in a for loop?
Oh, really?
A for
Oh,
loop. Go look up how to read this file in a for loop.
Are you saying what are you saying? A formula?
A for loop.
Or for loop?
hmm How do I read a file in Bash in a for loop?
Oh gosh.
Tunde, you got my answer yet, sir? Tunde, female. How do I find the? Here we go. I'm gonna write it out and then I'm gonna read it to you. Okay, the question is, how do I find all files created on the system in the last 3 days? If you can't find the command to create a group, then you're not looking on Google. Look it up on Google. I'm not gonna give you the answer. You got to look it up. And you have a book, and you got Google, and you got a group of people, but they can't answer your question. You got to look it up. Lolita, what was your question? What did I give you? Oh, I gave you how to read a file in a for loop. No, they don't. You only got 2.5 hours to knock everything out. That is correct, but that's just the group. I still need to add a user. I'm going to go get my timer here. I'm writing down questions. What time is it? I don't have my other little thingy to tell me time, but that's okay. I'm gonna go and get it so we can knock it out. All right, going to go get my timer. You guys have officially 1 minute when I come back to answer questions. Let me go get my timer. Hold on. Okay. So that's if you're gonna modify a user, but this is a new user. So let's look at that. Let's go over your command. So first thing I would have done is me personally, I would have checked to see if, or you could do this, you could cat etc group, right? And the group I'm looking for is test users. I would have looked for that group first. So I know that group is not there. So I will do a group add test users. So now I've added those users. I've added that group, but I still need to add the user to the group. So my user that we're adding, say we're adding you, um, I can cat etc password and grep for and dash I ignore case Tunde. You're not there. So now I need to add you to the group already. So let's do a man page on user add. Okay. So first off, the dash G is the group name or number, the user's initial login group. But we don't want the user initial login group. We want the user to be added to another group. So that's the capital G. So let's do this. User add Tunde dash G test users. So now the user, what happened was with that command, if I went back and looked at group, let's look at this, cat etc group and grep for Tunde. What it this command here, it added you to the users. It added you as a user and a group Tunde, and because I did a -G, it added you to the group test users as well with the capital G. So it was two. It was a multi-step process here. I added the group first, then I created you as a user, but I let you have your own group and then modified that, if you want to say, by adding you to test users as well. And you could have did that all in one command as well too. You could have just did user add ampersand or semicolon and then do that. So that's what I was looking for there. All right. So Tunde guy, here's your question. Your next one. Your next one is, how do I set up the latest Java on my system and make sure that's in my path? Basically, I want to know, how do I set up an environment variable? Let me give you the latest and greatest website for Java. And I want to do this from an RPM perspective. So let's go here. Let's grab this guy. Well, this is the website. So you got to accept some stuff. Are you saying you're getting off? Is that because your tablet is dying? Is that what you're saying? You're saying you're leaving Lolita and them in here with me? You're abandoning the crew? That's what you're saying? That's what it sounds like. It sounds like you're abandoning the crew. That's what it sounds like. So you blame him for this one. I just gave you your question, so there's your question. Knock it out. Okay, Lolita, where we at with this for loop? Oh, my timer. I need to put on my timer.
Wait. Okay, I'm almost there.
Where's my timer? My alarm. That's an alarm. Need a stopwatch. And Lolita, I am going to say in 10 seconds I'm going to start the timer. And you have to give me your answer. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to start my timer. Let us see if this works for us. You said put it in a script here. So I'm going to say, I'm just going to cut I'm just going to run it in a script. So I'm going to stop my timer here. And I'm just going to call this lolita.sh. And I'm going to insert that in here. I'm going to So let me see. Let me go back over this one. So yeah, read the file in a for loop. I can already tell you you're gonna have a problem with this. You know why you're gonna have a problem with it? Hmm?
We're gonna, oh, I don't have a do. I don't have a
You
do.
got to do. You didn't do a done,
Look
and
at
your F on your for is capitalized. All right. So you're saying I'm gonna echo the contents of this file by doing this.
this, this
Let's
file
double
name.
let's double verify temp text. All right. This is what you're supposed to see. Some text hello you. All right. So let's go over to temp.
There should be file name.
Then I put
Can
it
we
in.
can we edit it?
Uh-oh. What happened to my file? What happened to my file? Why was it up here?
Yeah,
There
so,
we go.
so, um, do you see where it says $ file? Oh, in file name. Okay.
Talking about here. That's what you're talking about?
No, go back. No, damn it. No,
Run it.
not there. Yeah. Take that out.
Take what out?
The $, and put a
Sure.
$ in front of file name.
Like that?
That's there we go, yeah. And right there, file name, down where it says content.
Mm-hmm.
I just got, yeah, go over, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
file name. Mm-hmm.
You sure?
Not really, but
We're gonna run your command. So no.
oh, it put the file name.
Alright. This right here was correct.
And then get the content.
Uh-oh. Let's see. Uh so I'm gonna give you a trick.
Oh, I gotta take this out. Wait,
Oh, I
I
was like I was
forgot.
gonna give you a trick.
Go ahead, go ahead. Yep.
So you treated it each one of those as um a line. It broke it off in a line. So because there's space, so let's go back and let me show you something. It took the space and said that's a new line. So you needed to read the whole line. You following what I'm saying?
Yeah, so every time it came through, it changed the title.
Yeah. So if I did this right here, let me show you. Oh, my bad. Hold on. See? So now you need to figure out how to read the whole line. I'm gonna go back and change the data. So we have the space. So you need to look up for loop bash by line. You want to read by line. What is this that you have over here, Tune? This complicated command, it looks like. I'm going to cut and paste it.
I'm not exactly sure, but I looked at a couple of different sites. They gave me a similar command. So I added it to date and kept moving.
No, you got to do better. You got to do better. No, you got to do better.
All right,
So,
back to the.
so you have a book. Why aren't you using it?
I
Because
don't know if
what?
I don't know if I like this book, but I haven't given it a lot of a chance. I guess I was doing Linux Academy primarily.
So the
Hold on.
find command is on page 130 to 131.
All right, one moment.
All right. So we want to find, and let's go on do a man on find.
I did that. I didn't really
So
get that.
you want to find the files within the last
3 days.
3 days.
Right. A lot
So
of information.
it's okay. This is why you're here. So do you see this?
When they
Yeah,
start.
dash day start, the measure of times, the access minimum access time, seed minimum seed time, and they break all that stuff down in here. So let's go and look at that.
My man page is right on that too.
So a file that was last accessed in the last 24 hours, a file that was last changed in the number of minutes, uh, seed time file that was last changed. For greater than, let's look. I think it's C. This is modified. So let's go with modified. Modified or A time. These are in minutes. These are in days. These are in hours. See? Yeah. So, oh, that's not what I want. So find
Times 72 hours.
slash dash we can do C time or M time 3. Sure. Let's do a dot text. Dash F. I think you have to do dash F type. No, I think it's dash type F. I think. I always get it confused.
That's F for file or
Uh huh.
where is it? Oh, so that's when it's an option.
So we want to do see like yeah, it's dash type dash F. We can do star dot text. So I didn't like that.
Is it FSTYPE?
Oh, it's dash name.
Oh.
So that is your command. The C time is what? What does C time tell me?
You said days, right?
No, go look up C time.
Wait, hold on.
Let's look at C time.
That says file status was last changed and times 24 hours ago.
Okay. So is it 3 days ago? So we just did this today.
Don't you have to do n
So
times like
so we maybe need to do, well, that's what we want to do, but it's not finding any text files changed in that. But well, I guess we can find log files. Hold on. We know log files have been changed. So let's do start.log. Yeah, I'm like that should return something. So um
so n is just the number of days.
it may be. Let's try. It didn't really clearly state.
Right. Like I thought you had to do n times like 72 hours or something.
No, it didn't like dash in.
It
And
says n. Well, yeah, CT time. No, C
oh, there it
time.
is. It
What did
doesn't
you put
like
in
the
there?
it doesn't like the dash in dash three.
So there's no dash in it, right? In front of the n.
Well, it
Yeah.
didn't like the dash in, so I can do an M time. That's modified time. This right here is access time, and then we can do this because I know for a fact that this has changed. And let's uh, send that to a file. Uh, well, Lita, how you doing with your command?
Uh,
So let's go look at that one of those and see what it gives us. August the 18th. That's today. That's the is I guess accessed in the last 3 minutes. Is that what access time is? I mean the
Hold on
last
one
3 days.
second. 1 second. Yeah. So access last the number of hours ago, or 3 days ago, or whatever. So it's n times 24 hours ago.
I'm gonna give you this one. You should use this link here. Practice
Yeah,
offline.
I'm just googling that right now. Thank you.
Offline commands. You see how they did this execute? They found in the current directory a file of dash techmint.txt, then execute fills this array here with what to execute. So it's going to execute removing that command. That's what the execute command does. See, look, M time. Files modified in the last 50 days. Files accessed in the last 50 days.
Wow.
Find a file that changed in the last hour. Let's look at that. Let's do cmin dash 60. Let's control E. Get rid of that. So these are the files that have changed in the last hour.
So so for number 29 on their document, is that just saying find all five? Yeah, it's saying
I,
all
I
change files all
that's
over the
finding
system.
all files, but I narrowed it down by type, by doing the type of file dash name. I can take it and do a D on a directory, and I can name that directory var. You should. Tell me. Yeah, that's too specific. Let's go here. Oops, sorry. So let's clear that. I asked it to find me all the directories that have changed in the last hour, and that's what it's giving me.
Can you scroll up on that on the document real quick? They're not very far, but there was something on there with all the hidden files. Oh, but you know what? Never mind. This is find all the hidden files in your system, whereas ls minus a or ls dash l or al would just give you within
It
that particular
gives you
directory.
hidden files. The A gives you the hidden.
Right, but that's only in the directory, and as opposed to this just telling you what's on your system, right?
Mm-hmm. Fine. Well, you tell it where you want it to go. You did it with a slash. You telling it where you want it to go. Lolita got a
Well,
complex.
I'm making the distinction to say that ls minus l is just giving you the current directory or whatever
No,
directory you specify. Huh?
ls minus l is just giving you a long listing in whatever directory you're in. ls
Right. So
minus al gives you a hidden files in the current directory in which you're in or whatever you specify.
okay, right. So current directory versus like whatever current directory for the ls minus al, and
They
that's
both do the
different.
same thing.
Okay.
ls minus l in a current directory, ls minus al in a current directory. It's
Oh no,
giving
I'm not
me
debating that part. That's not part of the question. I'm talking about this versus the ls minus al versus this find command to find all the hidden files. That's what I'm questioning.
no. We're using the find command to find whatever files that were changed in the last 3 days. So
No,
it's just gonna go and look for those files. ls doesn't look for anything. Two different commands do two different things.
okay. So
What
it
was the
says,
final answer?
Huh?
huh?
What's the final answer?
I couldn't hear you.
What was the final? Can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
What's the final answer?
This was the final answer. So this is in the last hour. I'm finding a directory that has changed in the last hour. So if I want the last 3 days, they were saying modified time right here, 29 of them in the that's last accessed, the last modified. See, and that's a M time, A time. So you could do, if I want the last 3 days, how many hours in a day, uh,
What's the
you
C
can
though?
go, huh?
What's the C? Dash C am I in? I know
C
the.
C is your is saying C right here is your changed in the
Oh,
last
okay.
hour.
Okay, change. Okay.
So the one we did earlier, oh, that's that same one. Yeah, this is finding all the log files that changed in the last hour. We did A time, so the last files that were modified in the last 3 hours, and I stored that in that file. So those are files that have changed. But I posted it. Huh?
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I couldn't hear you. What'd you say?
No, I said go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So Lolita came back with n equals to 0, cat slash tempt. Type that over to wow. Read a line. Do $ n plus 1 echo contents $line. Well, you could have just did cat temp text which is correct.
What?
Hmm.
That's all you.
No,
That's
no,
all.
no, 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 no.
I thought you said do a for loop.
I know you are doing a for loop. I'm just saying, cat temp just text. That part is correct. Now we're gonna pipe this over to read line, and I'm gonna do. I'm skipping your other stuff just to see if it works.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I'm just gonna do $line. I'm missing something. What am I missing, Lolita? Oh,
Do what?
You doing a variable? Like why the $line?
I'm missing done.
Oh, it's just
Yeah,
very.
yeah,
Oh, so it's putting content to before and that. Okay, I'm
yeah,
just saying content.
yeah. So you put contents in there. So if I just want to echo the line, I'll just do this,
Take it out.
and then
Wow.
don't forget you're done.
Oh, so that's much easier.
Wow.
So in the, so in your
You don't
for,
have to.
huh?
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So in your for loop, what you would have done was this right here for file in line. I think you can do a line. I think you can do that. I gotta double check it. Hold on.
The line is the reserved word.
I think so. Hold on. For loop read line. Come back. Stop doing it. Do do do.
You know, it's like you got to take one thing, practice it until you got it down pat, go to the next.
Mm-hmm. That's why we're doing this tonight.
What was the question?
One of the
Repeat.
questions she was just saying you gotta take one thing and practice it and then come right back at it.
Oh yeah.
I hate when my so sensitive. Back in 2004. You can do a while loop, but there's a for loop you can do too.
That's where I go.
No, you can do a for loop. Uh, I know in Python just reads the whole line. Yeah, and this you do it here. You cat the file, and then you
You see how
echo.
they're
Yeah, but you can echo just the line. You can echo the whole line. Here
okay.
is taking the new line and reading it as the space is reading it as a new line. All right, hold on. I'm gonna get it right, and then but I'm gonna keep moving. Okay, Tune Day. How how do I find out where packets are being dropped on my system when I if I want to if I'm going out to Google? How can I tell how many hops I'm going over for Google to get to Google?
Okay.
It's in the book.
Okay.
It keep putting you back in a while loop, and I don't want a while loop.
You said you could do this without the wild?
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
You gotta do a for loop. Well,
Uh, no, that's interesting. Let me see.
Tamika, this is in chapters 1 through 9 or 8
One
or
through
whatever.
seven. Yep.
Oh wow, one moment.
I wonder why they did that. Let me see. Let me see. Does that work? I don't think it does. That just means go up one dark. Let's see. I don't think that works.
oh, the cat.
Yeah, I didn't think that worked. I was like, why did they do that? Yeah, that should have been. This should have been your thing here. Oh, I see. What am I missing? Oh, this guy. Oh, it's still doing it.
Yeah. So it's gotta
He
have lime in there.
he still has. Uh,
Oh, the IFS.
mm-hmm. Let's see if that grabs it. Yep.
Yeah.
It's because it was reading the space. It was interpreting the space as a new line.
Okay, and that's an internal field.
Yeah. Now you learned something new tonight.
Sure did.
Okay. What is what? How do I find the UUID on a machine?
UID.
The UUID of a device, I should say.
Because the U name just gives you the CPU, right?
The
Usually
U
it's that.
name? Yep.
Yeah. I should know that. Gosh, longevity. Not a D. Trying to
How would you figure that out?
user. It's not the user ID
Mm-mm.
for man on UUID.
Know it. Your answer. Block ID. Gives me my UUID on my systems. On my system. Tune, you got my answer yet?
No, give me just 2 seconds. Okay, hold on a second.
I'm resetting. I'm starting my timer. All right. Lolita, how do I set up SSH keys between two machines?
Do an SSH
Mm-hmm.
dash keygen dash dash T
Mm-hmm.
space R space
Mm-hmm. And then I
and
do
then hit
my
enter.
my enter. Now, how do I transfer those keys?
You do it SSH dash copy dash ID
Mm-hmm.
space um, dash I
Mm-hmm.
and then it is
The path.
mm, yeah. You can do a tilde
Mm-hmm.
because it's in your
It's in your
current.
home directory. I just do the path.
Okay, and then you put the
I guess I don't have SSH keys set up on this machine. So let's walk through it then. That guy to where I want to go.
yeah the and I see the
Yeah. Tune, 1 minute and 44 seconds. You're up.
Okay, the most I got at this point is IP tables.
No, it was trace route
What the heck is that?
in chapter 3.
I'm in chapter 4. Hold on.
And what else did they tell you in chapter 4? That command is deprecated.
What page that was? I didn't really understand what it was saying on chapter 4 in
Chapter
terms of
4
the
is
IP
very
table.
important.
Huh?
Chapter 4 is very important.
I'm sure. Um, yeah, I don't know.
Lolita, how do I tell what repos are enabled on my machine?
I got one question about traceroute.
Mm-hmm.
When you said that the name wasn't traceroute, it was they
Mm-hmm.
changed it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you did an install on that NP whatever it was.
I did an install on traceroute. But in the book, like I said, they changed it.
Okay.
It is
Um,
now deprecated. What is it called now? Let's see. Firewall basics. Let's see. Networking stuff. Yeah, it's still traceroute.
okay. Um, it's Yum. It's recorder.
Yeah, on traceroute. Yeah, I'm install traceroute.
Okay. Yum. Okay. Got it. Right.
Tune, what the hell you working on again?
Um, the trace route thing.
Oh yeah.
So you
I-
pull the trace.
In other words, that answers your question. Yeah, trace route is still in here. And this is the route that it takes and the length of time it took for me to go out to Google and back.
Okay, I'll go back to the book and study now.
Uh, that's fine. You should be doing it, excuse me, in conjunction with.
Yeah, I know, but I was doing Linux Academy.
That's why I gave you the book and the ones that go with the Linux Academy.
You know what? I don't know that I saw. Cause you created a schedule, or whatever.
Mm-hmm. It's in
Yeah,
RHCSA group. It's a doc.
I gotta go back through that. I thought you did, but I gotta go back through it.
Lolita, what's the default UMass for the user?
Uh, 002.
What's the default UMass for the root user?
020.
All right. Next question is, I want to um, take the user that I have Toonday, and um, I want to give Toonday read write access to uh, the Lolita.sh script using ACLs. How would I do that?
Did we go over ACL?
That's in chapter 4.
I thought you were going to talk about it.
It's anything goes now.
Can you repeat the question? You know, and I said it down and I'm gonna go check.
What is the
Yeah, how do you do something?
how do you set the user Toonday to have read and write access to the test.txt file and slash temp using
Uh,
get fackle and set fackle.
using ACL.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mhm. Oh, okay. Is that for me? I'm sorry. I'm
That's for
looking at it.
Lolita.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
okay.
good. Okay.
That's for Lolita.
Um, set, set
I was.
cycle space dash M space
Oh, hold
user.
on, let me type because you was going so fast. I would have my back turned. What now? What you say? What you say
Set cycle
now? Mm-hmm. Oh, hold on, let me get on the
space
screen. Okay. Mm-hmm.
dash M
Mm-hmm.
space U
Mm-hmm.
colon
Mm-hmm.
user
Tunde.
colon
Mm-hmm.
dash
Is
space
it dash space?
um
I want to give him read write, so help you out.
oh rewrite
You gotta give him read write,
RW
and then you do on a it's yes Lolita that we wanted to do it on. Right, and now you got to do a get fackle on Lolita.sh. Keeping in mind, when you do this, you see the user tune day gets read right. The mask automatically gets changed. If you're looking at the Linux Academy, they tell you a chmod would change this. It would change the mask. You can set this up for it not to change the mask. I would go through that lab that they have in there for that 3 times so you can get it
Okay.
in your head. So we're gonna revisit this again come next week. Next week we're gonna go through all of these again.
Okay.
Well, we're gonna keep adding on. So let's keep going. You got time. So remember, get faco told me what it was. Suppose I want to set the default permission on this file. How do I set tune? How do I set the default permission? The default ACL on it.
Okay, one moment.
While she's doing that, Lolita, I have your question right here. How do I set up the my time zone to be in Los Angeles?
Just to repeat, you said how to set the default ACL
Hmm.
for for who?
On the text dot test.
Okay, using Lolita's example then.
Uh-huh. Using the user tune day. So set
Okay.
set tune day to have
So
default
set
ACLs.
the set faculty space. Wait a minute. Okay, we'll go with this. Set faculty space dash D dash M. I'm sorry, space dash M space U colon Tuesday uh
Give 'em
colon.
give 'em read right.
Right, is it after the colon following Tuesday?
Uh,
So then,
after tune day is read write what type of access you want to give 'em and then what you want to give it on.
right, so but it's okay, so let's repeat. So then so after the M is U colon Tuesday
Mm-hmm.
colon R W
Mm-hmm.
space slash.
No, it's just Lolita.
Sorry, not slash. The text, the text.txt.
The
I don't know.
Yeah,
Lolita dot.
yeah, the other one of the file name. So only directories can have default ACLs.
What the hell? What? Wait, hold on.
So let's look at that. The directory will be temp. So let's do this. Um,
So do I do?
Hold on.
Okay.
So it will be this. And can you set it recursively?
I don't see anything about. Oh, wait, hold on. Hold on. I'm gonna go with. Let me see. Can you put the recursive in? Configure. I want to say yes, but I don't really.
So look at this. I moved that file over there, right?
Uh-huh.
Now when I make a directory, let's get faco on new.txt. All right. So the default user is read, write, execute. The default user tune day is read and write. The mask is going to go with whatever the highest level is for that particular directory.
So they,
So by default, if I make a directory, what do you think the permissions are going to be in this directory, in the new text directory?
based on what you just said, I would think rewrite and execute. Use the highest.
So let's find out. Remember now, it's going with the UMask. So user and group. So let's see what it is. Read, write, execute, read, write, execute. Correct. And remember,
Yeah.
the plus means there are extended ACLs. The dot meaning that there are the SE Linux is set on this directory or set on the file. Did that make sense for everybody? So what do you
I
think? What do you think a file is gonna get?
because that was a directory. Um, I think I would. It would be read and write.
And why did you think it was read and write?
Because a file is 666 as opposed to 777, and so the six would be read and write. It would equate to read and write. 4 and 2.
Okay. Did you follow that, Lolita?
Um, yeah.
Okay. So what you should have gotten out of that is correct, but also what you should have gotten out of that, it didn't matter what my mask was for that particular one. The get faculty, I mean, you can only set uh, the default ACL only applies to the directory.
Oh yeah, I gotta go read that. Yeah, so just,
So whatever file you create in there will have the same what permissions are
As
set for
as
the
the
directory.
oh,
UMask allows you to. And when I say UMask, I mean UMask of the system. The default UMask didn't apply to that.
Oh,
Y'all ready for the next round?
sure.
yeah.
Okay, let's go. How do I delete the UMask on this directory?
Now, okay, yeah.
So I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna let Lolita find that. Not UMass, ACL. Sorry.
Oh,
Dash K.
Hmm.
Is it dash K?
You tell me.
Try it.
Is it dash K? I don't know what it. So this one I'm supposed to
Nope.
type. Hold on. I'm supposed to
No,
type
you
that.
supposed to type set
I'm supposed
backbone.
to type that. Oh no, they ain't work.
So we want to delete the uh,
ACL on
ACL on what?
new
oh,
on
ACL or
it's ACL. We want
okay.
to delete ACL on new text because you can
ACL.
see it here, right here, right. See that?
Where's what's it? Okay.
So
This
we
one.
want to delete the ACL on that.
Set backbone.
Okay.
Space K.
Hmm.
Uh, slash
Well, I'm
wherever you
already in
set.
temp, so I just do new dark
Oh,
text. Is that what you're saying?
yep.
Let's do this. Let's see if the little plus is gone. The plus is gone. And so is everything else. There's another command you could have did as well too. They talk about it in Linux Academy. You guys really need to go over chapter 4 ACLs. That's really important. That's
Yeah.
that's gonna really stomp you up on the test. And to be honest with you, I never really had to use them. Just to be honest. All right, we went through firewall D. Tunde, how do I find the default zone?
Oh, crap. That's that firewall D slash or hyphen command uh say
I'm gonna type exactly what you tell me now. That firewall D.
um I think it's I think it's I think it's slash slash
Slash slash.
no not slash slash hyphen hyphen default. Oh wait, is that right? No, probably not. Wait a minute, hold on, lady. Okay, all right. What did you ask me? Default zones, right?
Mm.
Okay. Firewall hyphen CMD
Mm.
it's hyphen hyphen get hyphen default hyphen zone. Wait, what am I looking for?
That's it.
Oh.
I said, "What?
default.
No, I don't know. That's it. No, I don't know. That's it. I don't know. You tell me." So how do I,
Default zone.
Lolita? How do I find out if my SE Linux is set to enforcing or not? And if it's not set to enforcing, where do I go and change that?
Do, get enforced.
Hold on, I'm typing this. SE Linux 2 enforcing and across reboots. Okay. How do I check to see if that's persistent across reboots?
Um,
Um, hmm.
it would be the you can go inside the config
Yep. And then what?
and check for equals one.
Mm-mm.
No?
Mm-mm. You go in the fig and make sure it's turned on to enforcing
Oh, enforcement.
or permissive. And that should be persistent across reboots. So I want to turn on, I want to find out what the type is on a file in var www HTML, var www HTML. Yeah, var www HTML. How do I find that out?
Um, ls space dash capital D space slash var dash ww uh,
There you go. That's how I found that. I can also do on the directory itself, like that. The dash D gives you the directory. Keep that in mind. Dash D is the directory. So,
oh, okay.
how do I permanently change this? What are the two ways I can permanently change something? Remember, C manage F context and C manage or set SE bool dash P, and then the type that you want. So when I say that SE, does it? I don't want to say SE bool. I want to get SE bool dash A. So I can get that dash A, and if I want, say I want to use, I want this to be on persistently across reboots. I had to do, I had to do set SE bool dash P, and I can do on. Sorry, capital P on or one. So it's gonna go through and set it to be permanent. That's only with the SE bool command can you do that. The other ones you have to do cmanage f context. We're gonna hit those hard next week, but for right now, I'm skipping chapter 5. I'm going to. We did some stuff in chapter 6, but how do I make a partition on a Linux box? Who can walk me through that?
I know you start with F this.
And then what?
Let me look real quick.
So really, it's f disk. Let me do a f disk dash l. It gives me all my partitions here. Um, you can see it's on a RAID. I won't fool with my little RAID, but um, that's what that is. And then I could have did like a f disk. See, well, they got MD sent. Okay, so f disk. This may work. So I
Yeah.
print, and it gives me sectors. I do new. I hit enter. I take the defaults or whatever they're telling you to take, and then you write. Once you write, then you need to make a file system. That's the hard way. So now I need to know. I need to set up. I want to do LVM. So there is rule of thumb: physical hard drive. PV create is your physical hard drive. The next one is you create a volume group, VG create, and a name. And if you did a dash dash help, it'll tell you it's VG create. Um, and then the group name. See, all these are options. All this right here is options. But then what they want is VG create the volume group and the physical path to that volume group or to that physical path to the device. In this case, it'll be VG create. I can do hello and then slash dev MD 126. That would be that.
You say this the hard way?
Huh?
Don't they have a menu? Isn't there an easier way?
No, the hard way was making partitions. When you make partitions like how they got my box set up at this thing, which is atrocious.
They showed a menu on the lab.
Yeah, they did F
Oh,
disk slash
mhm.
dev MD 126. And then they just did M.
Yeah. Okay. Mhm. Okay.
Yeah. In our case, I don't want to delete all of that, so we're not doing that part. All right. After you do your PV create, which is your physical. After that, you do your VG create. After that, you got to do your logical volume, physical group, physical volume, logical. Logical is where you're gonna create your size that you want that partition to be, and then you make a file system on top of that. That's what chapter 5 and chapter 6 covers, and they do that in the class. You always want to use LVM because it allows you to grow. So this way I can grow, but I have to add stuff to my physical RAID, to my software RAID. In the other case, if I had a hard drive just laying around, I could just add a actual I could add an actual physical drive using LVM and then grow the partition. That's what they talk about with the PV move, the VG reduce, the VG extend. That lab important because you're gonna do that on the test and you're gonna have it go across reboots and make sure that it works. So that this chapter 5, 4, 5, and 6 are your meat and potatoes of this test. I would really study that. So that's why we're gonna go back over these again next week we're gonna actually have a file system to install and do all this stuff on. So be ready. Let's keep going. Package manager. How do I find out what my current kernel is? Tunde.
No idea, but give me a moment.
While she's looking up kernels, Lolita, how do I find out what the latest and greatest repo? What's the repos that are set on my box that I access?
Uh, they refocus.
Yes, correct. What gives me the latest kernel? Okay, the next thing I want to know, we did SE Linux. We set it to enforcing. We went over SE Bool and get SE Bool. Set SE Bool and get SE Bool. I just need to go over those. Okay, Lolita, if I want to have a mount point persistent across reboots, where would I put that at?
Uh, I'm looking it up.
Um, you name. Wait, what do you want? We want to know current.
We want to know the kernel.
Okay, hold on.
I'm just
Okay.
gonna do uname.
No, one moment. Please hold. You name space dash A. I'm sorry, dash S.
Dash A was correct.
No, just
Every
no S. No, it
S
was
just
from
gives
S.
you the name, but A is correct.
Oh, okay.
Lolita, where are
Mount
we at?
point. We have to
You,
mount point. I
okay,
don't.
you still trying to do
Yeah, I know we got
persistent.
to. Yeah, we got to
Persistent.
change it. It's a command. I mean, it's not a config file. Well, we can do both.
Tune, how do I install this RPM?
One moment, please. One moment.
Did I hear that right?
Upgrade. Okay, so just installing the RPM is RPM space hyphen I space the name of the package.
Correct. How can I tell if it's installed?
One moment. Create a package.
Lolita, while you thinking about that, how do I update my system?
Oh, we could have done the verbose mode.
I did.
Oh,
Dash IVH. Hash gives you hashes. You can change that too.
I can change the hashes or the
Mm-hmm.
wait a minute.
The hashes. So in RPM you have a H, but you can change what it is. Versus hashes, you can do something else. See, print hash marks. I forget how you change that RPM dash IVA with hashes. I think you can set a variable or something.
Mm.
You don't need to know that for the test. I'm just being fancy right now on that one. That's just fancy. Lolita, your
Yes.
mounts. So it's
Do you have to change
so FS tab
tab? Yeah.
tells you this is how it works. Source colon whatever that is. The location locally. How you're mounting. 9 times out of 10 is NFS. Setting your defaults equal to and then space 00 for not to check the mount points for journaling, not to check, do a file system check. That's how you do it. That's persistent across reboots. The other way that they teach you that you need to know on the test is locally. Remember when we were talking about UUID? This is why you need to know it. You want to mount
Yes.
a local partition via UUID to a local mount point, whatever it is. XFS is the default file system for Red Hat and defaults, and then you may want to set it up to check journaling. We'll be doing that next week too. You guys need to be ready. We're gonna do more quizzes like this.
This is very helpful.
All right. So, how do I just download an RPM? I don't want to install it. I want to use Yum, and I just want to download an RPM.
Wait, you don't want to install, but you want to use to download. Sorry. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm. Lolita, while she's looking that up, what's the command line to set my network, my IP address and stuff? What's the command line tool?
At your IP network. It's not IF config.
You can use ifconfig, but they want you to use MNICL. Or you can use NMTUI, that guy, and edit a connection and here, and then set that from there. And I'm gonna tab down and say cancel. So remember, you have multiple ways you can do this. NMTUI lets you do that. Or you can use NLCI, CLI to do it, or you can use ifconfig. Or if you're in the GUI, you can use Network Manager. 4 different ways. Pick one, stick with it. What's what files can I use to set up my DNS servers? Where's that file? Tune, you got my information?
I just found a website. Give me 1 second.
It's in the book. It is in the
Oh
book.
no, I didn't exactly see it, so I
It's
can get
in the.
forward.
Use the table of contents.
Oh no! Well, I did that too. That didn't work. Okay, so it's from okay, it's yum space install space hyphen download only space
Hold on.
hyphen
Install space hyphen download only.
um space hyphen download di. What am I downloading? The hell? Okay, what was the question?
I'm just downloading one package.
Okay, it
So
says I think it's
you said
the
yum install. You said.
right. So it says yum install space hyphen download only.
Hold on. The book said yum downloader.
Where that at? Can you tell me what page that's on, please? Oh,
377.
the yum downloader. Yeah, yum downloader.
No match for the argument. Blah 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 blah. I'm like, I wonder if yum downloader. Hold on. Let me do this. Cause they just did cups.
No, that's actually working.
So there's cups. It just downloaded cups.
Okay.
Got it.
Yes.
All right, but you can use download only. Um, let's do telnet. Let's see, where did it put it at? It downloaded it. Where did it put it at? So here's where we use our find command. Tune. Use that find command to tell me where telnet is at. We know it ends. We know it's a RPM. We know we just downloaded in the last 5 minutes. So how can I find that file? I want to know where that file is at.
You know, make me learn this find command. That's for sure. Hold on a second. Okay, so I'm sorry. Sorry. And, so it's obviously find and
We want to search the entire system, which is slash.
okay, yes. Okay, good. Slash and
Mm,
C minute.
Okay. Is it dash
Um,
cmin or just cmin?
oh, I think it's a dash in there.
Okay.
I don't see it. And then it's
In the last 5 minutes.
right. So it's like
What kind of?
uh
And then I'm helping you out here. We know of the type, so we know we need a type,
dart. Okay, so
and we know it's a
R.
file.
Okay, and then so the dot RPM.
Star.rpm.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
What we miss?
So fine. Where is this thing?
Tune, what we miss?
One moment.
Lolita, why she's doing that? I
Ask
want
about the
to.
name names.
Mm,
You asked about the name names, sir.
I asked you about the who?
Domain name server.
Mm-hmm.
How we set it up.
Yeah.
I
Where
can't
where do
find
I
it.
find that information at, and where if I didn't have that information in this particular file, how can I add that information?
How to how to in you mean how to install it or set it up?
How do I find out where the information is at?
Oh, man,
I got to do a
no.
man. I'm gonna help you out.
Wait,
Is
I know it was in Etsy, but I just didn't. Go ahead.
it's etsyresolve.com.
Oh man.
I was like, I'm not gonna go through this man page with you. Not today, Cletus. But that's where it sets it up at. Where would I find my host name? How can I set up my host name? I gave you 3 different ways. How do I do it?
It's a host. You can do uh host name space and whatever you want the name to be. You can go in and edit um the Etsy hosting file.
Mm-hmm. I remember
Um,
the system, the kernel.hostname in the syscontrol.conf file.
okay.
I mean, in the sys, yeah, well, you put it in the syscontrol.conf, but remember the kernel parameters for that. Okay, give you this one, Lolita. You need to figure this one out. Uh, CentOS.org. I want to get this um, ISO here onto my machine. So I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna let it run. Gonna put it in the background so I can continue to work. Come on, come on. All right. It should have went into the background, but it's 15%. But either way it go, we waiting on tune and this find command because I need to find my RPM. Tune, Lolita, your chore is you're gonna tell me how do I mount this ISO locally to this file system. It's in the book too, and it's in chapters 1 through 9.
I don't think that the man page is the most effective for the fine tuning. I'm just gonna put that. All right, 130. Oh,
Why don't
I
you look
can't
at
see
the
the
link? Why don't
command
you look at the
anymore.
link I just gave you?
Yeah, like I don't see the command anymore, so I don't know what the heck was left off.
It was number 2930, something around there.
One moment.
C-man. Number 30 is what you want to use.
Okay, hold on.
Uh,
Uh, oh.
so let's see. Define files that were modified. Define files that were accessed. Define files that were modified.
Mm.
Access.
And you want to find files that were created in the last
10
5
minutes.
minutes.
Yeah.
10 minutes, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but what do we have there now? I don't remember.
This guy. Stop whining.
Oh.
Stop the one. We missing a dash on the 5.
Well, I figured it was a dash because there's only two things in there.
Let's see.
Oh, you put it in there
Dash
already?
type dash F star dot CMP. Let's go back up and see what they say.
Well, now you gotta change it to 10 minutes or whatever we said.
Oh yeah, but it still didn't take the command though. Let's go with last 15 minutes because it took you a long time.
10 minutes,
Let's
fine.
get the dash off the type. That's what it is. Well, no,
Uh,
I think it may be dash type.
it's
Dash.
probably dash, yeah.
It may be just type dash F. I can't remember. Man, you
Let's
got me
try.
all
You do it
confused.
now or no? You gotta wait.
Hold on.
Pass must
Oh,
receive question.
mm, is it dash type dash F? It's not dash name.
Okay, where you did this help
There we go.
or whatever it says,
There it
what
is.
does this stuff
Huh?
mean? So what find so where it says where you did the help or whatever this is, what does this actually mean? Oh, it returns back to help. What does it actually mean with the find?
What
That's
you
not the
mean?
app.
You mean this right here? This usage?
Yeah,
It's just
that's
telling me that my
that's.
command is wrong.
Well, no, I know that, but that's the information that's in the man page that I didn't necessarily find helpful.
Oh yeah.
So I translate this part of it with the dash.
I wouldn't translate this with nothing. I would go and say, find. It's telling you how many levels you can go down as your first option, and then you can do a search. Like these are your options that come with that dash D. Uh, dash 8 didn't have any options, but this does. But and then it
Mm,
tells you your path and then the expression. In this case, we did a find over the last 15 minutes of a file with the dash name of star.rpm, something star.rpm. So it went through and searched the system and found these three. As you can see in var cache, packages, blah blah blah. There's our telnet. That's where it got stored. So remember,
okay.
Yum downloaders installed it in that path. But if you wouldn't know that, you had to go back to the find command to use that
Okay.
to give you that answer. And last but not least, this is it's going to be three hard ones.
Oh, okay.
Lolita, did you figure out how to mount my ISO?
Yeah.
How do I do it?
Space dash O space loop
That's it.
and whatever the name of the ISO is,
And then
space
mhm.
slash MNT.
So when I go over to MNT, do a LS. And if I do a DF minus H, I have mounted my ISO locally to my box. I downloaded it and I mounted it. Here's another little thing that you can do once you download it and you mount it. Let's make a.
Well, we have to do that.
In the book, it's in there. It says so. I'm assuming you will. So I'm gonna rsync the PRAV star over to ISO. I'm finna show you something. So I'm downloading this ISO. I mean, I'm pulling the information off this ISO because I can't do anything else with it in the state. So I need to pull that information off. So I sync that information off the ISO onto my system itself. Then I can just remove the ISO because I don't need it anymore. I have the packages and everything off of it. Then I can go into uh, Etsy yum.repo and tune. I want you to set up a yum repo for me. Set up a repo for me in inside of etc yum dot repo. D called local ISO. It's in the book, but if not, please use the internet.
To repeat, you can set up set up a repo inside of Edge.
I'm gonna cut and paste that. I have this written down.
Uh,
There you go.
So when we mounted the ISO, you're pulling the information off.
Mm-hmm.
What was that command? I missed it.
Rsync.
Oh, okay, R6. Oh,
Because I can. It's local. It's like a mounted drive to my system.
yeah.
It's a mounted
Okay.
folder to my system.
And where are you having it go? To
I
repo?
called it slash ISO.
Okay.
So Lolita, how do I tell from using LVM? LVM commands? How do I tell what my physical how many physical drives I have? Ooh, no space left on my machine. Okay, that's awesome. Move slash ISO over to home. Tune, you got my repo yet?
I think so. No, just about. But is this an existing directory?
Aha. It is called ISO. It's the directory. It's under slash home
I'm
for when.
sorry, no, that's not the correct question. Are there existing files in the directory? That's the question.
Oh no, you tell me. Do you have your machine open?
Oh, you want me to actually put it on a machine?
Yeah, I want you to do some work. You tell me. Lolita, where we at?
I'm still with LVM.
I know, where we at? You got my answer? A minute
No,
is
what
up.
did you want me to? I didn't get all the questions.
Okay, so let me write it down. How can I tell what physical drives using LVM are on my box?
Go to the ES-H.
Using LVM commands.
Oh, okay.
This one would be a bad one to look at because they didn't set it up the way they didn't use LVM. So it's not going to return anything, but the answer is PVS and PV display.
You said you couldn't use LV display?
The PVS and PV display. I said using LVM commands. Look on page 316.
No, no.
Yeah. Logical volume command.
Mm-hmm.
LV.
No, PV, physical, physical.
Oh,
LV is local. I mean
logical.
logical.
Okay. Okay. You did say what drive. Okay.
What's the default file system for Red Hat 7?
Okay. Um, I don't.
Tell me where we at with my answer.
You,
XFS.
What'd you say?
Is it
with
X?
X? Oh, okay.
You said what now?
Oh, file system?
Uh huh.
X, um, XFS?
Be secure with your answer. Yes. All
Okay.
right, Lolita. I want to find. I want to find the config file. Config on the system. Better yet, I want to know when was the last time that file was accessed. Config on SE Linux on etc SE Linux config. How do I find when the last time that file was accessed?
What?
On SC Linux?
On SE Linux config. Well, I want to find the access time and modified time.
Alexa.
What command would I use? So where we at?
I feel like I found the answer in the book, but it doesn't necessarily match up to the example they provided. So, yeah, I'm unclear.
So the answer is rule of
I,
thumb. Here's the
the
rule of
answer.
thumb. I'm gonna show you a shortcut. You cdo to yum repo, right? etc yum.repo.d. I would copy over. Let's copy over foreman.repo over to local.repo. Let's vim local.repo.
Wait,
And then,
is your
huh?
am I supposed to be seeing the screen?
Do you see it?
Your screen? I don't see anything happening. I see home in your directory.
How about now?
No.
You don't see my screen.
I see your screen, but I just see home as the directory, and your cursor is doing nothing. It's just dead sitting there. You haven't typed anything.
You don't see it
Clear.
either.
No.
No, you can.
I see the. Okay, hold on. My thing is giving me unresponsive. One moment. I'm back. I can see you now. I don't see. You're just at the repo
Mm-hmm.
directory. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So what I did was I copied over. I just copied over a file because I want to use the configuration. I want to just use it as an example. Okay. So now I'm gonna vi this file. I'm gonna change this to local, and I'm gonna change this to local, and then I'm going to delete this line. The key here is because this is local. I've copied this repo over locally. You go file colon three colon and three slashes because you want it to look at the local directory. When it's just two, it's gonna go out from your machine and come back in. Here it's in file locally, kind of escaping it. And then it is in home ISO. We'll leave that on, and then I don't need this. All right. One other thing I have to do in slide home local or home ISO is I need to do a yum install create repo. Awesome. Let me do this because I just enabled that and it's trying to read it. Turn that off. So create repo command is going to create a repo of this RPM that I have here. So that's what I want. So it's got to do its thing, but I got to install the command create repo. And I'm using yum to install it, but yum is going to tell me I need Python Delta RPM first. So I got to do that. But right now I'm going to let this do its thing, and we're going to get back to Lolita. Lolita, where are we?
SC Linux. We were
Okay.
supposed to be looking at a file, but I forgot where you said it was.
It's etc. You remember now. This is how you can configure it across reboots. It's etc se linux config. So create repo is already there for you too. So now we're gonna create repo local. I do -v. The period means current directory. It's gonna give you a whole bunch of stuff. Because I did a -v. Without the -v, you would not see that. Um, and it goes on until it finishes out. It is now finished. I need to go back to that file, which is /etc yum.repo local.repo. Open the file, turn the one back into, a zero back into the one to enable it, and then I should have a local repo. Here, change that to a one. Yum. Let's see, clear this screen here. And then if I do a yum repo list, it should go out and try to do its thing. You can see there's local right there. That's how I set up a local repo from downloading an ISO, copying it off, mounting it. I mount it, copy it off, sticking it into a local directory, create a repo for that directory, create a using the create repo command. I created the create repo, create the file, and now I can pull RPMs from that local repository. You're gonna have to do that on the test. I guarantee you that. So back to you, Lolita. What I wanted you to know was the answer was stat etc se linux config. That gives me my access time, my modifier, my change time.
Can we go back real quick on the repo Linux thing?
Mm-hmm.
So anytime you want to install, like you got an ISO and you want to install it, you had to create a local repository.
I wanted the packages off of there. So there's two things. I could leave that ISO on there, create me some VMs, mount that ISO to those VMs and install from there. Or I can create a kickstart. And I can create a kickstart and make me a repo based off of that RPM and then use HTTP to install using a kickstart. You're gonna have to do that on the test. And we're gonna do that next week. Be prepared. We got a lot of work to do.
Yeah,
How was tonight for you guys? Was this good, bad?
it just shows me. I mean, you go through the lab and you read, but you got to go back over it. get it. We've got to constantly do it. And
Yeah, for me, I enjoy it,
yeah,
and but it shows me that I gotta really get in there now and get cracking. So, but yeah, in terms of whether I enjoyed it, it was good for me.
yeah, it was good. It was good.
We're almost 3 hours in. This is real good for us.
I think it's gonna stick.
But I think I'm gonna start holding 3 hour classes though. Not every week though.
Okay.
Not every week.
Yeah, this one's good. You just went over it, and it kind of like uh, if we
Like
did
I
one,
want to recap everything you have read or you think
yeah,
you have read.
no, it was
That's
good.
that's what I wanted to do. All right, last but not least, how do what command um allows me to set up authentication with LDAP? This is probably in chapter 8.
And
Yeah. I want to configure LDAP.
this is the realm thing, no?
Is it the who?
Realm.
It's actually it's called the auth config dash. I wonder if I have to do a dash 2e. Yes. So I'm command line all the way. In the test, you ain't gonna have to do this, but you guys gonna be so used to command line, you're gonna be like, "Oh, I do everything command line." So see, here's how you set up for LDAP. Here's how you set up for IPA. Then you have to use LDAP authentication. IPA is Kerbos, and then you hit next, and then go from there. So that's what chapter 8 talks about. Okay, what file tells me to use local files first, and then after that DNS? What file is that? That's back in somewhere like chapter 4, I think it is.
Hope. Oh,
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that for me, please?
What file tells me that I have to use DNS first versus going out um, using files first versus going out DNS, or vice versa, however that file is set up? What file is that?
Hmm. Okay.
not the host file? No.
Mm-mm.
Hold on.
Okay, what directory is it in? Etsy?
It sure is.
Everything's in Etsy.
Etsy is your friend.
Do we have to configure this?
You can configure it, but you don't have to configure it. It should already be configured.
FSX now?
Mm-mm. Y'all give up?
No.
Um, what Lolita say?
It's
That's it. No.
etc and it's at switch.conf.
Oh, you been over that.
You was looking right at it when and that repo information that I set up is exercise 7-1 page 368 through 369. Basically, I just went over chapter 7 besides the RPM stuff like config, query and whatever security.
Oh, you did what you exercise.
But
What you
next
said the
week,
name of the file was? I'm sorry.
nsswitch.conf. And last but not least, the two of you together figured this out. This is the last one. Set up a cron job for me. In fact, explain what the fields are for cron, and then set up a cron job that echoes a file in /temp at 10:15 tonight.
Um,
Well, that book getting some use, ain't it? That book getting some use. You all through that book. You like, what is cron? I hear.
That's why I know I need to look at it earlier today. I'm like, oh man.
Crying is what? Crying in chapter 9.
The book is the test is 1 through 9.
I
Let's
thought you
get it.
said 1 through 8.
The test is 1 through 9. I think this was a good class. So next week, Lolita, you're gonna teach ACLs from chapter 4.
Okay.
Tune next week. You're gonna teach uh, NMCLI and firewalls, and I will be sending out what you guys need to have in your lecture.
And you'll be doing what?
I'll send out what you need to have in your lecture.
Okay. And what is the NMCLI and
Yeah,
firewall?
yeah. And your lecture, you can make slides if you want to, or you can share your screen, or whatever. But in fact, we're gonna do chapter 5 through 9 again. But we're only gonna spend the first hour over these commands and your lecture, and then the next hour is gonna be installing Red Hat from scratch and partitioning your disk and setting up 2 VMs with your repo. We're gonna kickstart it in the whole 9. So you'll have machines next week.
How to do a presentation. I typed slow.
Hmm.
You said we can do a we're gonna teach like I got ACLs. I'm just gonna explain it.
You're gonna explain. You're gonna explain ACLs,
Okay.
and we're gonna do a lab on it. Get faculty, set faculty, default ACL, the whole ACL shebang. So what I would do if I was you is I would look at the ACL guide that they have in Linux Academy. I would go online and look up another guide, and I would try to like make up a lab and explain it.
And actually type.
Hmm.
I have to type and teach like you do.
That would be nice. I think everybody would like that. I think that's a great idea. Thank you for the idea. Yes.
How long is our teach back?
What'd you say?
How long is each of our teach back?
Each one of you guys a teacher for 30 minutes.
Dang.
Oh,
I had how much to say for 30 minutes. Okay,
You got
so
the first hour. Yeah, you two got the first hour. You're my star students. That's how much I love you.
really?
Hmm.
Uh, and so firewalls, how extensive are you talking about?
So,
Like,
firewall CMD, I want you to be able to add a service, delete a service, add a port, delete a port, check the status of it, add what's the difference between permanent and just the reload, uh, understanding uh, how to check for the default zone. If I needed to set up a firewall for my public zone, how do I do just for the public zone? If I need to set it up for internal, how do I do it for internal? It's all in the book, and it's all
yeah.
in your Linux Academy, and I'll be here to assist with those questions. And how you can re-listen to this actual uh, recording, and I'll send out some stuff. I'm excited.
I bet you are.
we are
I
too.
don't know.
Back to the lecture at hand. Cron job. Let's get to my cron.
Oh,
Page 461. Um,
You say 461.
no, that's right. Title is chapter 9. Yeah,
Okay. So
that's about creative crime job. So,
okay. Well, let's create a cron job. You guys need to work together on this one.
that's fine. Can you repeat our question? I mean, what are we looking for again? I missed it. I didn't write it down, rather.
No problem. I got it right here for you. No worries.
I'm sure.
Let me write it over here. We'll put it over there.
Set up a job. Okay.
so first we have to go to etsy/crime tab.
Do I? I can't.
Go to Etsy.
I did. It won't let me.
Go to, just go to Etsy. Okay. And then this contact.
I'll try and see if it was immutable.
So being mad. Let's go on at 10:15. Explain what each field is.
I want to remove it. Oh, I just did that. I didn't do the thingy.
What are we doing right now?
Trying to get the cron tab. Okay. So
So,
many-sided cron.
so you see that this is already set up, but really, what they want you to do on the test, they want you to do a cron tab dash E.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And create?
Mm-hmm. So
That's
what I would
tricky.
do on a test is I would just highlight this, right?
Oh.
And then me thinking out loud, you're being a GUI. I'll cut and paste that into a GUI. You understand what I mean? So I will open up some kind of text file. Uh, File, new note. And I would just put this in some text file somewhere. So you can have it right there in front of you.
You mean copy that when we sit in front of this test?
Mm-hmm.
No.
I almost talked to my laptop died. Ain't that about something?
I got some learning.
Where's my thingy at? Where'd you go? I hate when it does this. Where you go, little buddy? Come back. They need you. Window. This guy.
So you're saying when we get ready to take the test, we have to empty out the cron
No,
tab?
what I'm saying is when you get ready to take the test, they want you to do cron dash E
Uh,
versus you doing.
They want to see that you know how to do a file or create a file yourself instead of or job yourself, right?
Well,
Everything.
well, there's a difference between cron tab dash E and cron. Cron tab dash E is for the user, so they may have you as a regular user, and you may have to create a cron tab as that a cron job as that user. When you sudo to root, you're creating it as root. When you do it for when you do cron tab dash E, you're doing it as that user. Two different things.
So I think I need to put some things into context. So you run cron job. I haven't read anything about cron job, so I don't know
That's
much about
fine.
it.
So look, that's me doing it as Day.
Mm-hmm.
But if I do it as root, that's me doing this as root. So they're gonna want you to decipher to run a cron job as that user that you are or as root. 9 times out of 10 is probably as that user. Let's see, do they talk about it in here? Log in as a regular user, create a $ bin directory, this, that, and another, create a file, add and then on page 461, open up the cron tab for your account with that cron with cron tab dash E, and then create it as that user, and then mail that information. Then run cron tab dash L and confirm the existence of the user cron file in that particular folder, in a particular directory. The file should have the same name as the user. So knowing that you need to decipher between a user and the user and the root user, that's two different things.
Hmm. So I got a question about certification. So in a certification like the one we're going to take,
Hmm.
it'll be potentially set up like one of these questions, like one of these exercises where they tell you do this, then do this, and then do this, and then the next thing,
Hmm.
or
It's gonna build off each other.
okay.
really? So if you get one thing wrong, you're just in that issue.
Yeah, so you need to. That's why I'm drilling you the way I am. Like you're gonna be
Yeah.
like, and you're not gonna think about it. You're not gonna even have a book.
Yeah. Nor Google.
Do they give you? They give you partial credit.
I don't think so. I think it's all or nothing.
Okay. So we
So,
have to log.
so your homework for the night, and I'll expect this by tomorrow, at 12. Your homework for
Well,
tonight is this cron job. I'm not gonna let you guys off that easy. And
wait, by noon though?
yeah,
Like,
by noon.
that's Friday. It's a work day. What do you mean by noon? I can't have to do that.
I guess you got to finish it tonight.
Nah. I man, I never put it in the morning. What the world? Oh, okay. What are we saying?
We take no prisoners. Let's see.
Okay.
Let's save this file. Um, what's this? What's today?
18.
We're gonna put class questions.
You gonna post those? Post that?
Yep.
Okay, very good.
And I didn't answer anything. I just wrote them out.
Nope, that's fine.
And let me put here as a set up a cron job as a regular user. Oh yeah. I'm excited. You guys excited? So next week we have chapters 5 through 9 again. Uh, and in fact we got 1 through 9. Let me just declare that so you don't think that I'm just like, oh, you said 5. No, 1 through 9. And we're gonna do Lolita. You're doing ACLs, correct? Were you there? Did you die on
Yeah.
me? Okay.
No, I'm here.
Okay.
Do you
And
get the and both our voices? Like really?
then today you're gonna do firewalls and what I tell you, firewalls and something.
CLI, which right
Yeah,
now I have no clue what that is.
NMCLI, and then you got the cron job. Y'all got to work together and get that cron job going. In fact, you should work with the other Tunde, the guy, to make him help you guys because he left you in the dust. He said his tablet was dying, as if he didn't know he was coming to class. Tunde, when you play this back, I'm talking about you. You left your people in the dust because your
So
tablet was dying.
we're actually gonna write the job or
Yeah,
whatever.
you're gonna
Do
write a cron job and email it to me. And I'm gonna run it on my machine. If it works, it works. If it don't, then you gotta go back to the drawing board.
oh my
You
word.
gotta tell me what I need to do. I'm just a I'm just a lowly help desk person. I don't know nothing about Linux.
Can we just give you another 20 minutes and figure this out on the phone? I mean, on this thing, so that
That's up
I
to
can go.
Lolita.
Okay, well, Lolita. Like, um,
Sure, we can do it.
I'm gonna go to bed soon. Hold on a moment. Let's see here. I'm on Google now
She
because the
said
book has
she
got
said
nothing
she
for
said 20 minutes. I'm giving you the 10:30. It's what is it now?
me.
10
Right.
12,
17
Oh, you talking
10
about the good
17. Yeah, so it's 10:30. I'm giving you the 10:30. I'm going to
Okay.
put my tablet on this charger. I'll be back in approximately 2 minutes. You guys should have that problem solved. You got the book and everything. I'll be back.
Okay, a little bit. I know nothing about a crime job, so I'm trying to look on.
Okay. She
I'm
should
gonna
start recording.
Oh my gosh.
It's on page 457. Um, it starts to talk.
He was on just now. Okay. We want to say, oh,
Okay. We should be able to just follow page 461.
wait, it's hard for me to hear you. What you
Oh,
say?
can you hear me now?
I
Page
did.
six.
That's a little bit better.
Okay. We should be able to follow the exercise on 461.
For
Um,
what?
461.
Yeah, I found this page two, which I'm gonna give it to you in a second.
Did you miss me? I missed you.
I don't know yet. The jury is still out.
Is Jerry still out? I missed you. Can't you see the
Are you?
smile? Can't you see this the worry on my face? That
Yeah.
oh, I just
Can
miss
you
you.
do type what we tell you to type?
Sure. I'm just a lonely help desk person. I can do anything you tell me to type.
So you're logged in not as root, but as a user.
Hold on. Let me get to the user. Okay.
And create in your directory /bin.
You
It
want me to
says yes.
create a directory? Why
It
I need
says
to create a
create.
directory?
Let's create a children /bin directory.
Okay.
Wait. It's going to the temp directory though, right?
Mm-hmm.
So can we just change the directory? They were
Okay,
right.
before you do that, back up. Just do it. Just do it ls. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
ls again.
You said what now?
ls. List. Okay, so you have a bin directory because it says create in that tilde is in your home directory. Create a bin directory.
Mm-hmm.
Then it says add a file called taxrm.sh. So let's create. Um, it's a script.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be I guess a bash script. So let's do a VM on let's change to our bin directory. And then let's do a VM space and let's call it, let's just use the same example, taxrem.sh. Oh, I'm sorry. You said tip. I'm sorry.
It's
I'll be
fine.
quiet.
You can do this.
We can? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
See, what you're getting confused with is you're thinking that the slash bin is where it's going to write the file, but you're creating the file in slash bin to run and create a file in slash temp at a particular time. So you're just writing a script
Oh,
and you're
Zero
telling
one. Okay.
cron to run that script.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
So right
Go
now
back.
you're writing the script.
Okay.
so you write
Because
the script in bin and then you have it run against the temp directory. Is that what we're saying?
You're writing the script in
I.
in bin and you're telling and you're gonna create a cron job. So
Oh,
you're gonna create a
But you.
cron job to run the file that's in your bin directory.
one file is in the bin directory. Okay.
Okay. So it's
So
we're gonna tell it to write a file to temp directory. So
mhm.
um, we're
you can
gonna
just
say
you can just say echo hello, this is my file and slash temp
that.
and
Um,
let's call this file um, let's call this file new
Hello.
file dot text. That's it.
okay.
Now, before you do that, before you do that, you should do a ls on temp, and then you see there's no um
There's a new file already there. Okay.
right, but there okay, there's a new file already there. There's
There's
a
a
new
new text. Sorry.
text.
Okay.
There's new text, but there's no new file dot text.
Okay.
So let's do an sh on this file, and then let's do a ls on a ll on temp, and actually you can do a ls minus ltrh on temp, and you can see that file got created, so we know the script works. That's the one thing you want to do when you on your test. Make sure that the script works. Sorry. Okay, so we know the script works. So the next thing we need to do, they're telling you to put a dash X on your thing because you want to be able to execute
Here.
the file.
Let's change mine and
So now you got to execute in all fields. All right. Now we're doing. Now here's the part. Here's the hard part. All right.
now we're creating this cron inside of bin.
Well, we're creating this cron job as the user. It's,
Okay, I got you. Because
it's
the
in the
user
user.
has to
Yeah.
execute this.
Yeah. And I wanted to run at 10:15 at that time, but we've since progressed to what time is it now?
Well, 10:23.
So 10:30,
10:23. So it's I don't
10:20.
know. I don't know if it's 10:23 and 40 seconds. So let's do 10. Let's just do 10:30.
24. Okay.
Hold on. Let's see. Even better. It's 10:23. Let's do 10:26. So we got 3 minutes to do this. All right. So the first thing we see, remember that file, right? I'm gonna go here so you can. This will probably have it. Let's see. No.
What the fields are.
Yeah.
I mean, things. Okay, it's on our table on page 458. This is the first one. Is
Okay. The
minutes,
minute.
hours.
So we want. We know it's 30. Let's go with 10:30. And the hour is 10. It's in 24-hour time, but because we're at night, that makes it 10 plus 12, so it's 22.
Yeah.
All right. And then the day of the month, we said
18.
the 18th. And the month,
Oh, wait.
yeah, oh wait, I'll do that. And then the day of the week. Today is Wednesday.
So
Sunday starts over the new one. So
5,
you say what now?
5.
Zero, zero. See, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Zero, one, two, three, three.
Wait, what is 3?
Yeah, zero is Sunday. Monday is one.
Oh, okay.
Tuesday is two. Wednesday is three.
Today's Thursday.
Oh,
What are we doing?
four.
Okay.
All right.
Oh,
So we did day of the week, and the command we want to run is, in this case, if you look back at page 461, they gave you the entire path, which is home, Tunde, bin, and the file was rem-sh.
Uh,
And it says, don't forget mail to at the start of the cron tab. Sure. Mail. This is provided we set up mail to ourselves, but sure. Whatever. And save it. And now we do a cron tab dash L. We see that the cron is there.
uh,
It's 26. Let's go 27. Let's change this to 27. We'll do a cron tab dash L again. Go back to date. So in 30 seconds, this is supposed to run, but I think you have to restart cron.
um,
Let's see. Date. 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 Come on. All right. Let's look at temp. Let's do it. L minus LTRH. There's the new file.txt that ran, correct?
wait, where? I don't
rem-sh. So if we cat slash temp new file.txt, hello, this is my file. That's a cron job.
hmm.
Wasn't that bad, huh?
No, actually, it
I don't,
wasn't.
I don't see where new text got updated.
Right here.
New file.
Oh,
Oh, I didn't see new file. Okay. Wow, 27, 22, 27.
yeah, that's when we told it to write. I changed
Okay.
it. I was like, oh, we won't need to wait 4 minutes. We can just change it. We got time to change it. And here, if I did mail, see, it didn't deliver to my mail because I don't have that set up, but it would have delivered to mail.
That was kind of cool.
But the cron tab dash E here, we ran that script as that user. And so we can change that file.
Do we necessarily have to create bin?
No, but
Oh,
because the path of this bash looks in bin,
oh,
it, you can do it that way. But they're teaching you that way, so I would just do it on the test. And that's a cron job. And you can remove slash temp new file, right? And then you can go back to your cron job and see what's the date. 29. I got 30 seconds. So we can change this to 30. And I can do a watch. LS. It took me too late. I might have missed it. Let's
What
see.
was
We
the
got
name of that file?
new file.txt. We got 10 seconds. It didn't. There you go.
All
Save it.
right. That's cool.
Because you hit watch, that means it automatically will just tell you what it is without
No,
you having to prompt
no.
again.
I'm watching the directory for every 2 seconds.
Right.
For changes in that directory. I can change how often I watch. You have now completed your cron job. So we went through chapters 1 through 9. We were going to do this again next week. We are going to hit ACL security and installs and kickstarts and repos and all of that stuff and KVM for the rest of the month. So we're going to be hounding it out. So my advice to you is to really do those labs in Linux Academy and match up with the book as much as possible. Try to stay on course with that because I'm just going to go through the book and go through the commands and we're just going to do it. And I'm going to share screens and you guys going to do some things and I'm going to do some things. But that's the only way you're going to learn though. Me driving is one thing. You learning with me and me showing you and you asking questions, that's another thing.
So when do we have to have our little teach out ready?
Let's see, next Thursday.
Oh, good. I thought you were talking Saturday.
No,
I forgot we got the
That
conference.
is a conference, so
uh,
I'm clear
next Thursday.
Okay.
So
on
next Thursday, I'm expecting 30 minutes from each one of you. ACLs, Lolita, dig in, get fackle, set fackle. Maybe even let's throw some SE Linux in that too. Um,
Oh, oh, sure.
yeah, let's throw some SE Linux in there. And tune for you. Let's do the NMCLI. Let's work with the firewall and let's throw one extra thing in there. And that one extra thing is IP, like IP ADR, IP link, IPS, that those commands. Let's come up with a little something for that. And you guys got 30 minutes to show those commands, how they work, how you maneuver through that. So 30,
that. What's the base command? Like IP.
it's in chapter 4.
Okay.
So you got like all of chapter 3, setting up your network. There's the NSS switch I was talking about. Um, oh yeah, we need to go over set UID, GUID again. Did firewalls, but I think in chapter 3 there's IP stuff. I don't remember exactly where it's at, but I know it's in here.
So IP commands. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then I'm gonna take over and do the kickstart boot process and KVM for that next hour. And I'm gonna email you guys servers for you to guys to log into. You're gonna I probably will make a video. I probably won't have time, but I'll see to show you how to install from my ISO on your Linux box. I may have them go ahead and already set that up so you don't have to worry about that. But then when it's time to do the kickstarts for your VMs, you're gonna do those. So that's
We're gonna
back
do
in
the
chapter
kickstart.
1. Hmm.
We're gonna do the kickstart.
Mm-hmm.
Start.
Setting up
Yeah.
KVM kickstarts and all of that.
Okay.
And the only reason why I skipped that because in the Red Hat stuff and other places I looked at, they save all that stuff for the end. Like all that other stuff don't even matter if you don't know how to set up, if you don't know the commands.
Right.
So by the time we get done with this, I can go back and tell you, okay, on your first Ethernet box, set up static IP address to be X, Y, and Z. Then on your other Ethernet box, set up static IP address to be this, that, and other. Make sure this goes to this DNS. Make sure this goes to that DNS. You'll know what resolve.conf is because you've seen it before. You know, like, oh, let me put resolve.conf, let me put this DNS in there. Oh, let me make sure my NSS switch points to local files first, then DNS. You're gonna know all of that. You should know that tonight. You should be drilled down tonight.
I
I'm
don't
the
know, but I'm sure by next week I'll be all over it.
I
This has
know.
been good. This has
I
been
took
good.
you guys by surprise tonight. That was the point.
Mhm.
That
Three
was
and a
the
half hours. I want you to be, so
hey,
let me clear.
hey, I just want to be clear. I can go 6 hours.
I trust me. I believe you.
I can go six. It's nothing but nothing but a chicken wing to make.
I can name that tune in 7 hours.
Nothing but a chicken wing to make. All right, well, you guys take care. I'm gonna upload this photo. The video will be uploaded tonight. You'll go back through it. My advice to you is don't go through the video. Go through the questions and then go back to the video.
Okay, sounds good.
All right,
Thank
Thank you.
you.
you're welcome. Guys, take care.
All
Thanks
right,
for
night, everybody.
thanks for playing
Good
Willow
night.
for Town.
All right, night.